Today I want to talk about Camar Wheaton, who has committed to the University of Alabama, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time today. I want to talk about Camar Wheaton, who has committed to the University of Alabama. This coming at about 10:20 Central Standard Time. He said he was going to commit on December 23rd. He did not say when. Claimed that it was the toughest decision of his life for him to pick the Alabama Crimson Tide over the Oklahoma Sooners. And this comes as a devastating blow for Oklahoma. Almost more devastating than the elation that Alabama fans must feel for picking up Camar Wheaton, because Oklahoma had let me see if I can go at this the right way. Oklahoma had recruited Camar Wheaton the way that they recruit a quarterback. He was the only guy that they were interested in. He was the only guy that they had left a single running back spot in the 2021 class available to. And it had been that clear for over a year. As a matter of fact, when DeMarco Murray took the job as the running backs coach at the University of Oklahoma, OU fans had made it clear to him, it does not matter that you help that running back room succeed in 2020. It does not matter that you help grow Ramondre Stevenson, TJ Pledger at the time, Marcus Major into great running backs, or even Seth McGowan. It matters greatly that you bring in the 5-star tailback from Garland Centennial in Texas. Camar Wheaton is the number 2 running back in the 2021 cycle, the number 4 player in the state of Texas, and the number 26 player overall, according to the composite. He has tremendous straight line speed. At 5'11", 190 pounds, he'll easily grow to be over 200 pounds. He is great at one cut and go, but he is stupendous in a gap scheme. He has to gear down just a little bit when he's changing direction, but if he beats you to the corner, and he will beat you to the corner, you are not going to catch him. He has 10.600 meter speed as a sophomore. Probably translates to down to around 10.4, 10.5 right now. Tremendously fast. And in a gap scheme, that's what you're looking for. A zone scheme is more dependent on a running back's vision. He picks the hole he wants to run through. He watches things develop. It really does take a preternatural sense for where the play is going and where the hole is about to be. Whereas in a gap scheme, you get to take advantage of not just knowing where the hole is designed to be, but you know the weaknesses in the blocking scheme as well as the strengths, and you know how your strengths can make up for those weaknesses. Oklahoma runs a gap blocking scheme. Alabama runs a gap blocking scheme. The idea here being you give the running back this hole, but if he has the kind of speed, the kind of agility that Camar Wheaton has, like Najee Harris, you're probably going to put up a whole hell of a lot better numbers. Why this hurts tremendously for Oklahoma is there is no other tailback for them to turn to in the interim, and this is the second time in as many years where Oklahoma has been trying to pick up the scraps after watching its number 1 option at tailback go to Alabama. Last year, you'll remember, Jace McClellan had been committed to Oklahoma for the better part of 2 years when Nick Saban comes through late with a home visit and convinces Jace McClellan to commit to Alabama in the 2020 cycle. This year, Nick Saban did not have the benefit of going into Camar Wheaton's house, but he did what he has done for years. He bided his time until the witching hour, and he made a move, and he won Camar Wheaton in a year where Oklahoma had to have a 5-star tailback. This is the difference between building a dynastic program like Alabama and building the kind that Oklahoma has been since 2000. You have to win not just in the 2020 cycle, but in the 2021 cycle and in the 2022 cycle. This is the reason why I've been so bullish on Ohio State and why it's not going to take that long for LSU to get back. Oklahoma has not been great in the even years since Lincoln Riley has taken over recruiting and head coach. In the odd years, they're able to recruit because you can look at the depth chart and see 5 stars that are saying, I have a gap year there. I'm going to have an opportunity to play. Whereas a place like Alabama, Nick Saban has been able to recruit dudes who play 5-star positions and play at a 5-star caliber and convince them that the depth chart is not overloaded. When I look at Alabama and I see Brian Robinson and I see Trey Sanders and I see Jace McClellan and now you see Camar Wheaton, it is astonishing what Nick Saban has been able to do, because the one drawback for most highly valued recruits is they look at the depth chart and they say, perhaps I'm going to have a hard time breaking in there. Not unlike Tanner Mordecai at Oklahoma and what has been for them at quarterback. That's just not been the way it goes for Nick Saban at Alabama. He is able to talk those dudes into making these decisions that affect how they play in the NFL, but also affect that they play for national championships. It's why this Cotton Bowl takes on a different tenor for the folks like Oklahoma than the folks like Florida. You have to win these games, and then you have to win national championships to try to win recruits like Camar Wheaton when it comes down to these nitty-gritty moments. Until then, you're going to have to win championships with what you have on the field. This is the gap between Oklahoma and Alabama. This is the gap between top-tier programs like Alabama, who has won 9 out of the last 11 recruiting titles, and Georgia. It's also the reason why you could see a 2-loss Georgia finish as a top 10 ranked team. When you look at how Oklahoma recruits, you look at how Clemson recruits, Ohio State recruits, LSU recruits, and Alabama recruits, you get to see what the difference really is. It's the reason why Oklahoma fans did not want anything at all to do with the college football playoff in 2020. Everybody knew they would have got boat raced the same way that I think Notre Dame's going to get boat raced by Alabama. You just do not have the horses to keep up. It is the worst feeling in the world for a competitor. And I liken this to NASCAR, where you know you have a great driver, but you also know you do not have the funds to put together the kind of car that's going to compete for Cup Series championships. You can only hope to run at the front of the pack for a little while. It's one of the most infuriating things about being a fan of the sport. You have to watch the recruiting, and you are limited by how good your recruits can be. Kudos to Camar Wheaton for actually taking some real time to figure out what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. But also, taking this moment, I want to demonstrate just what it's been for Alabama and just what it's not been for Oklahoma and make it clear to you, this is what the Sooners have to do. You have to win national championships to win these one-off races. Until you can do that and put players into the NFL consistently, you're going to have that. It's not to say that Oklahoma can't put players in the NFL consistently. It is to say they don't do it while winning national championships. They do it in spite of winning national championships. And you want to go, if you're Camar Wheaton, to a place where you can do both. All right, that's it for me. Doses.